Alright, now we're going to be looking at EDG. They have, they're good at the game, so they typically pick their targets correctly. Now, do I think they're actually planning out team fights? Not really, especially because they can't. Well, they communicate in English. I think they're all okay at English, but it's a mixed Korean-Chinese team. So we're going to take a look at this team fight they had at the end of this Kwai Gu. We're going to call them QG. They're actually pretty good, but again, everyone's a little bit flaky on this, and there's a lot of other stuff to think about in LoL, so you can't blame teams too much for being like the worst, but EG is like almost perfect at deciding how they want to distribute their damage and things like that, and they do quite a good job with this damage versus effective HP thing. Alright, let's get into this. I can put the volume down really low. You're not even going to hear any of it. Alright, right now we're in a situation where they know everyone's pretty much there. And they're jumping onto this tank clear love. Look at these items real quick. Make sure you know Shen, he's got 1 damage item. She's full tank, 1 damage item. It's pretty standard. Standard. Everyone's kind of standard. Tanky. Damage. So when we're looking at this, we know most of the damage is going to be wanting to put on these 2 guys on either side, because that's all the damage sources, because no one else really has damage. Besides, there's a little bit here, but again, it's not too vital. Alright, so they're going on clear love. This is like a pick almost. They're kind of going on her, saying we're gonna do damage to her, but you can't. If you're fighting a good team, can't expect to get a pick. If you play like you're getting a pick and you think you're getting a pick, you're probably gonna end up losing. That's kind of what happens here. But let's go into this and talk about why it's bad. So right now, they haven't done anything wrong. They haven't done anything bad. They're dealing damage on clear love. Good comment on this. Doinby is using his ghost. Sivir, if you notice, she's a little bit farther back. Let me move my picture a little bit. Actually, I'm going to put it down here because nothing important is going to happen here. So Sivir's down there. Doinby's right here, and he's using his ghost, which is already a resource being used. These guys are using lower cooldown abilities, so it's not that big of a deal. Barrel, Q, and clearly sitting back. But overall, this is a tank, and they should be aware that he's not a top priority target. So they shouldn't be using things like ultimate or high damage abilities on them, especially not from the burst, who is the closest one. And clearly, he looks like he's about to start dropping abilities on clear love. Anyways, first major mistake. If we go back to damage versus effective HP, and crowd control is supposed to increase or decrease damage, this ultimate that TCT is using right now is not increasing their damage. You could say it's a little bit, but it's all going on to a tank, which has a lot of resistances. And it's not decreasing EDG's damage, because Clear Love isn't doing any damage, and there's no threats that are being zoned off of them doing anything. So this ultimate is effectively useless. Shen ults Clear Love. I wouldn't say it's the best, but he's defending Clear Love from damage, so it's pretty good, and it's going to get him into the fight, which is, it's what he wants to do. And this is a really big mistake coming out of Doinby. He throws down his field on Clear Love. That's not going to stop anything. It's not going to really stop damage. It might stop Clear Love's CC and things, and it could potentially stop Shen, but it's not helping stop damage or really increase damage, because he's going to be pulling back now. And EDG, look at this rocket. It's not shooting rocket there. He's shooting the rocket at Doinby, because Def knows this is the person that we need to kill. Maokai teleports in here. Again, he's not damaged. Although he's here, he can't actually zone or anything. His ultimate's really good if he's standing next to his carries, especially this late in the game, where it's going to be dropping damage on them. Because he's not that big of a threat. He also doesn't have any damage items. So Doinby gets hit first. Sivir, that's good. He threw a Q up there. Nice job, TNT. Pawn comes in, goes right for TNT. Doinby kind of already used his abilities. He's still threatening, but he's in range. And this is what we want. We want the damage on the carries. And then Doinby, again, uses a Q on Coral. Those are resources that does burst damage. You don't want to use it on the fucking tank. Like, although Pawn, he gets chunked, he popped all the shields and stuff on TNT. So TNT doesn't have any protection now because Pawn used it. QCT can't ult. Pawn's invulnerable right now, so they got like 2.5 seconds to kind of decide how they're going to handle the rest of the situation. Doinby just has his ult and laser, which is really good because that's the majority of his burst. His laser's actually probably still on cooldown, but his stun shield is gone. He can't stop any damage with it now. Can prevent these guys, but it's pretty much already used. He used it to try to get a pick, but he's the burst damage. He's never going to kill him. And this is Koro going immediately for TNT. He did a nice taunt flash. This is actually really cool because he hit Swift too to just stop him from CCing things. And now TNT's CC'd. He's not going to be able to kill Pawn, although Doinby's going to be able to kill Pawn as soon as Pawn comes out. Except right here. Doinby, you disappoint me this time. Victor's ult, it's pretty strong immediately when you drop it. Who does he drop it on? He drops it on Coral. So now Doinby has used 4 of his abilities. He's used every single spell he has, and he has only hit tanks. He is the burst. If anybody should be doing, should be waiting until they hit carries, it's the burst damage champion, which is Doinby. That's why you pick Victor. He's gonna have a nice laser here, but again, you just wasted your ultimate, man, and your stun, and everything. And Deft now, this timing with Pawn is perfect. Comes in, look, Deft Pawn, they're up now. Deft's going right for TNT. Doinby's not even an issue. He dropped that, and he's moving the ult away too. He's moving the ult on top of TNT to hit these guys, which disappointment. Laser, very nice. If Pawn was still there, of course Pawn jumped in after TNT because TNT is the major threat now, especially with him gone. I don't know if they actively decided. I think TNT was just the closest threat. That's why they were going for him. But this is what's happening. TNT's already almost dead. He's ignited. He was taunted. He's got everything. This Gragas barrel, it's pretty good, except for the fact that Deft isn't hit by it. So Deft just basically, he's hit by it, but he's knocked into the wall. Stunned a little bit, but his position towards the carries is not that far away. And he immediately is going to follow this up with a flash while Pawn finishes off. Actually, I think he kills TNT. I don't know why. Maybe he has a red buff or something. So, this is good that it's still on Pawn, but if he had actually used his abilities on Pawn instead of on Coral, his timing might have been off. It might have just been a misplay and not like a conceptual misunderstanding. But Pawn's still alive, even though he should be dead. What should be happening in this situation right now is Pawn should be dead. Doinby should be destroying Deft now with TCT and Swift. TCT should be ulting him, but no, that's not what happened. He wasted on Clear Love. He wasted most of his abilities on Clear Love and Coral, and now QG is in a massive damage deficit. And this pretty much loses them the fight. Because, boom, Deft comes in, Doinby doesn't have anything, Pawn's still there, he takes a huge chunk out of it, and he dies. And the fight's over. Their damage is still alive. These 3 guys, they didn't even build a damage item. They're never going to kill Pawn, even at that much HP, especially if he's going to jump away. And this is just cleanup now with Deft. He shields. Does he get healed? Yeah, he gets healed with Gen ultimate. Because he's got teammates to protect him. He's not left there alone. And I'm pretty much done. Even if they killed Deft or managed to, Pawn would have probably been able to clean up. And that's it. Kill damage first. We can take a look at another fight. This fight too. EDG does make a mistake in another fight. That's why QG is coming back so strong. This is a fight I really liked, because this is kind of showing their mentality, where they are standing next to Maokai at the end of this fight. Towards the end of this fight, they're standing next to Maokai, who has, I think, 300 HP, maybe not that much. I'm talking about Deft and Pawn. Standing next to Maokai, and they just jump over the wall, run away from Maokai, and go ham onto QG's carries, because that's how you win the fight. So everyone's coming in here. You know, their carries get out, so like they back up a little bit, and they're just kind of like preparing. I think they're probably telling somebody to ward, because there's no wards yet. There's a ward. Maybe they conveyed the wrong information or something. Deft and Pawn are just sitting in the back here doing their damage. They want to get in there. Who does it? Alright, this is what we're talking about. So yeah, 400, 500 HP. Come in there. Finally the ward comes over. Deft and Pawn are just like, fuck this, we're going in. Because this is where their damage is. And QG handles this pretty well. TCT's here. He gets Deft in a good stun. And they, you know, double up on Deft, where I think Pawn and Deft do make a slight mistake here, where Pawn goes for TNT and Pawn goes for Doinby and Deft goes for TNT. You're gonna see this. Coral again. Nice job, but I don't think he actually taunts anyone. TNT, he needs to be going for Pawn. I don't think he throws any auto attacks on Pawn. Yeah, see, TNT's trying to kill Clearlove. Just imagine this situation if Pawn had decided, or if Deft had decided that they want to kill the Maokai, who still has this much HP and is just running away on the other side. These two guys would have been perfectly fine over here. If Pawn or Deft had jumped over, he would have instantly died. They both jumped over, only one of them died. And now these guys are like trying to kill Clearlove. Well, Pawn's sitting right here. And now they kind of realize their mistake, and TNT starts attacking Coral. Like, Pawn is the threat. You know he's there. Maybe he might not have seen it in the bush, and now he's realizing it. Oh, you know, that could have been what happened. Let's take a quick look at that and see if they completely miss Pawn. Oh, yeah, they're gonna miss Pawn. Even if they miss Pawn, let's watch it. So Deft dies. Pawn's still there. Who's he attacking? No, they know Pawn's there. Doinby's in the bush. They know Pawn's in the bush. Needs to stop attack. Okay, good, good. They knew Pawn was in the bush. They had vision, and they both pull off for that. Oh. And look, he almost killed him. If he had been ran to Pawn with Doinby, they would have killed him, and they would have like won the fight. That's why they were actually winning fight. They start winning after. But look at this. Everyone's barely alive, and their whole team's dead. And they didn't even attack the Mount guy. And that's back to damage versus back to HP. Right? You're in a race for their damage. Even if their tank is sitting there, almost dead, you still want to go after their damage. You don't just want to kill the tank, because he doesn't do any damage. If he's left alive at the end of the fight, it doesn't matter.